Welcome to Lingua Latina Tutorials with Mr. K. This is Chapter 42, Lesson 4, Exercises. Here we have practice with the gerundive, and this can be a little bit tricky. I'll explain it in the example here. We have Aeneas cupidus civibus inclusis blank, or the phrase that means auxilium ferendi, in regiam penetravit. Okay, so Aeneas broke into the palace and desirous or wanting, okay, and here we have to bring help is what the idea here, to bring help to this fellow citizens who were locked in the palace, who were locked in. And the idea here is cupidus, we have the genitive here, the objective genitive, okay, desirous of bringing. And then we have auxilium as the object of ferendi. This is called a gerund. It's an active verbal noun. Okay, it only is in the neuter, and it is it can take an object like here, desirous of bringing help, the object. The Romans didn't like to say things this way though. They didn't like to use the gerund, the active gerund, with an object. What they did is they would take the noun auxilium and they would put it in the same case as the gerund, and they would keep the same number. So if this were a plural, they would keep the plural, and they would make the then they would make the gerund match the gender, both the form and the case of the noun. But here, so what we do is we take auxilium and put it into the same case as ferendi, which is genitive, so we'd have auxilii ferendi. And now this becomes a gerundive because it becomes passive. And so the idea here is Aeneas desirous of the help needing to be brought to his locked up friends. He broke into the palace. So the first one, auxilii ferendi, of the help needing to be brought. Here we have Dido is inflamed, or is lit on fire, is inflamed with love, by watching, intuendo, puerum, the boy. So we do the same thing again here. We take our noun, puerum, put it in the same case as intuendos, which is ablative, and so we go puero intuendo. Alright, actually forming these is a little trickier. This exercise I think you'll do fine with, but understand that this is, when you have a construction like this where the gerund matches the noun form, it becomes a gerundive. It becomes passive in form, and it matches the case number gender of the noun. Alright, go ahead and try the rest of those, and let's go on to exercise 12. Vocab exercise. Interim certamen fuit de regno, quia Sabini regem Sabinum volebant, veteres Romani regem blank ex alia patria nolebant. So meanwhile, there was a competition or a fight about the kingdom, since the Sabines wanted a Sabine king, and the old school Romans didn't want a king from another country. And the word here for a foreigner is a peregrinum. Okay, go ahead and try the rest of those exercises, and let's go to number 13. Okay, question and answer. Post Romulum, quod certamen fuit inter patres? After Romulus, what was the competition among the senators? Certamen fuit de regno, or patres certabant, the senators were fighting, de regno, about who would rule, or about the rule or the kingdom. Certamen fuit de regno. Okay, so go ahead and try the rest of those. Understanding that this section, I consider the last exercise, these question and answer sections, the most important one that you go through, because this is where you're actually creating Latin. You're using all of the skills you've acquired through the chapter. So be especially careful on this section, and don't go quickly through it. Make sure that you're answering it thoroughly. And I'll see you back in the text.